So now we turn to Hebrews chapter 7. And it says, for this, well, if we go back to verse 19 of chapter 6, this hope we have as an anchor of the soul, a hope both sure and steadfast, and one which enters within the veil, where Jesus is entered as a forerunner for us, having become a high priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek. Now, what is this deal about Melchizedek? This Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham as he was returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, to whom also Abraham apportioned a tenth of all the spoils, was first of all, by translation of his name, King of Righteousness, and then also King of Salem, which is King of Peace, without father, without mother, without genealogy. And how important is genealogy in Genesis? Everybody has one except this guy. This is the only guy who doesn't have one. Without father, without mother, without genealogy, having neither begin of days nor end of life. What happened in Genesis chapter 5? Guy lived so long, had a son, then died. Another guy is born, had a son, died. What happened to Melchizedek? Doesn't have an end. But he is made like the Son of God. He abides a priest perpetually. Now observe how great this man was, to whom Abraham the patriarch gave a tenth of the choicest spoils. And those indeed of the sons of Levi who receive the priest office have commandment in the law to collect a tenth from the people, that is, from their brethren, although they are descended from Abraham. But the one whose genealogy is not traced from them collected a tenth from Abraham and blessed the one who had the promises. But without any dispute, the lesser is blessed by the greater. So if Melchizedek blessed Abraham, Melchizedek is even greater than Abraham. And in this case, mortal men receive tithes, but in that one receives it, of whom it is witnessed that he lives on. And so to speak, through Abraham, even Levi, who receives tithes, paid tithes, for he was in the loin of his father when Melchizedek met him. Now, if perfection through the Levitical priesthood was through the Levitical priesthood, for on the basis of it the people received the law, what further need was there a priest to arise according to the order of Melchizedek? So did perfection come through Levi? No. If it did, there would be no need for Melchizedek. Is there a need for Melchizedek? Yes, because Levi was not perfect. Verse 12, for when the priesthood is changed, of necessity there takes place a change of law also. For the one concerning whom these things are spoken belongs to another tribe, from which no one has officiated at the altar. For it is evident that our Lord was descended from Judah, a tribe with reference to which Moses spoke nothing concerning priest. And it is clearer still if another priest arises according to the order of Melchizedek, who has become such not on the basis of a law of physical requirement, but according to the power of an indestructible life. For it is witnessed of him, you are a priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek. For on the one hand there is a setting aside of a former commandment because of its weakness and uselessness, for the law made nothing perfect. And on the other hand, there is a bringing in of a better hope through which we draw near to God. And inasmuch as it was not without an oath, for they indeed became priests without an oath, but he with an oath, through the one who said to him, the Lord has sworn and will not change his mind, you are a priest forever. So much more also Jesus has become the guarantee of a better covenant. And the former priests on the one hand existed in greater numbers, because they were prevented by death from continuing. But he, on the other hand, because he abides forever, holds his priesthood permanently. Hence also he is able to save forever those who draw near to God through him, since he always lives to make intercession for them. Why is this so important? Your salvation depends upon it. What did the priest have to do every year? They had to offer the atonement. Sacrifices every month. Passover every year. Day of Atonement every year. Never got to sit down. Always offering sacrifices. Verse 26, for it is fitting that we should have a high priest, holy, innocent, undefiled, separated from sinners and exalted above the heavens, who does not need daily, like those high priests, to offer up sacrifices first for his own sin and then for the sins of people, because he did once for all when he offered up himself. Again, your salvation depends upon whether there is a priest according to the order of Melchizedek. Little story that doesn't have much sense to it. 5 kings against 4. Who cares? Lot's taken captive. So what? Abraham rescues him. I could have done without that. But Melchizedek meets Abraham on his way back. He is made like the Son of God. No genealogy, no beginning, no end. He holds his priesthood forever. So does Christ. So when Christ made his offering, it is permanent. He can now sit down because it is finished. He is a priest according to the order of Melchizedek and a descendant of David, so that he might be both priest and king. One of the most important people in all the scriptures, in a very otherwise obscure and irrelevant story.